Hey everyone, it's Joe Bradley here in Houston, Texas, and I just want to thank you for stopping by my channel, stopping by my page, wherever it is you found me. I just want to thank you for stopping by. Tonight I want to talk about a little something. Y'all remember when I hurt my knee a few months ago, and we were talking about determination? Well, that was back in June, and so just yesterday, and I actually go back tomorrow, but just yesterday I started working out again for the first time since I hurt my knee. And it was a pretty intense experience. It was something that was kind of new for me again, because this time, instead of me just starting up with P90X or starting up with some other kind of workout from home program, I actually got a personal trainer. And because what I didn't want to do, I didn't want to overexert myself and hurt my knee again or hurt something else, because I overdid it or I did something wrong. So I searched out and got a personal trainer. He's a guy who actually goes to my church. He's actually really good at what he does. And so here's what there was something that he said to me while we were, actually he said a few things, but there was something that stuck with me while we were there doing the assessment. And he said, today we're not going to work out. And I was kind of disappointed, because I was telling everybody, hey, I'm going to work out for the first time today, and I'm excited. I'm excited about getting back in shape and all this stuff. And then he tells me that we're not going to work out. So you know how you have that smile, but behind the smile is this disappointment or whatever, because you don't want to have to tell anybody. When they say, how did it go? How did the workout go? Oh, well, we didn't work out today. We just filled out some papers and stuff. But he told me what they're going to do today. He said, what we're going to do today is basically, we're going to take your measurements. We're going to check your weight and your height and all that kind of stuff. And also, we're going to check out your range of motion, check out your flexibility, your ability to move here and there, and going to check out the strength in your knee, what your mobility is like. And that way we'll know where to start. And he said this. Now, this is the reason why I'm doing this video right now about this as opposed to anything else, because of what he said. He told me that the reason why so many people quit workout programs, right? The reason why so many people quit exercising programs is because they never warn the body that something is about to change in the relationship. And I thought that was so awesome, because we know that relationship, we already know the relationship is part of everything. It's part of marketing. It's the most important part of marketing, forming relationships. It's part of ministry. You got to build relationships in order to have an effective ministry. And we know that. I know that because that's what we do at church and everything, and everywhere else. We build relationships. And then when we have a ministry, when we build relationships, then the ministry matters and the message matters. And people listen when they know that they're more than just a number. They know they're more than just another prospect or another lead. They know there's someone who actually matters. And so he said that the body, he said, you have a relationship. Now, this is the first time I've actually had a personal trainer since I ran track and played football, and that was eons ago, right? So I actually have a different relationship with my body than I had when I ran track. And I don't really know my body anymore, because this isn't the same body that I ran track with when I was young, right? I'm still young, but I was younger. Okay, so what we're going to do is over the next couple of weeks, we're going to spend time. We're going to spend time seeing how the body responds to the certain things that we do, to this new kind of relationship. And now y'all who follow me, and everyone who knows and who's been watching me for a while, you know that I have a very picturesque imagination, for lack of a better word. I think in pictures, I talk in pictures, I use metaphors and all that kind of stuff like that. And so while he's talking, I'm thinking about how similar this is to marketing. I'm like, wow, this is every day. This is like what we do. So he talks about how, I'm walking on the treadmill and everything like that, and he's talking to me about the different things that the body is going to go through and going to experience. And he said, I'm all about muscle confusion and everything like that, because if there's no confusion, then nothing will change. And that's one thing that people who who sit in my classes that I teach know that I promote confusion, because confusion is the first step before we actually start to ask questions and trust someone other than ourselves who actually knows what's going on, right? So he said, I'm all about muscle confusion, and because when we confuse the muscles, then they'll follow the leader. So the whole time, this was an assessment, and this was something to see how the body is going to respond, so that, and also to let the body know, rather, that I'm in charge. And so one of the ways that we did that was to create pressure in an isolated area, the abs and the hamstring and the thighs and all these different, the calf muscles, to create pressure there, but not eliminate the pressure. To let the body know that we're going to operate under pressure. Because what happens, and the reason why so many people quit and so many people fail, is because as soon as the pressure is applied in their abs or in any part of their muscle, then they release the tension. They release the pressure, rather, not the tension, but they release the pressure. They don't operate under pressure. And so the threshold, the absolute threshold, and for those who don't know what a threshold is that mark. It's the line where I can no longer do this. Like Popeye used to say, that's all I can stand because I can't stand no more. Then he'd eat his spinach, right? But the threshold, the threshold is that moment where it's the absolute threshold. This is the farthest that I can go. For hearing, there's an absolute threshold. The farthest something can be, the greatest distance where I can still hear. That's the absolute threshold. For the vision, the greatest distance, but I can still see. That's the absolute threshold. Everything has an absolute threshold. But the thing about it is, when we not break the threshold, but when we press against the threshold, then there's pressure there. But when we continue to work under pressure, then the threshold, the absolute threshold, actually moves. And it moves. And it moves. But where are you going with this, Joe? Here's the reason why I recorded this video right here about this. Because so many people want change, right? So many people want a different life. So many people, they want something better for themselves. But every time they're faced with pressure, they eliminate the pressure. And then nothing changes. But and so the threshold stays the same. This is all they can stand, and this is all they've been able to stand since 1968. This is all they've been able to stand since Carter was in office, right? This is all they can stand. This is all they've ever been able to stand. You ever meet those people that you grew up together, or you used to hang around with them in high school or whatever, and then 5 years after high school, and 10 years after high school, and 15 years after high school, and 20 years after high school, you look, and they're doing the same thing. They have the same mentality. They're still thinking the same way. Nothing has changed. They're still talking about the same way. They still think they have the same game they had back when they was 40 pounds lighter, and back when they actually had more going for themselves, but they think that everything is still the same in their mind, in their mentality. Everything's the same because every single time something has come along to challenge the way they think, to challenge what they believe. And remember, we've said over and over again that a belief is only a thought that we continue to think. That's what a belief is. But every time something has come to challenge the way they think, to challenge the way they believe, it puts pressure for them, because what they believe cannot stand up against this new information. Then all of a sudden what they do, instead of operating under pressure so that their absolute threshold in their mind can expand or can move, they eliminate the pressure and they run away. They run away. Well, look, let me tell you something. Change starts when we change our mind. And change always only happens when the threshold is challenged and pressed. And underneath the pressure, we continue to move. We continue to move forward. Look, don't eliminate the pressure of this message in your life. There's something that you know you have to do. There's something better out there for you. And you have dreams, you have goals, you have visions, you have ideas. There's something great within you, but I want to let you know it's not going to happen without pressure. All of the diamonds that are in Africa, all the diamonds that are all over the world in the ground, The only reason why they are precious is because they endured so much pressure. And I'm talking to somebody right now. You don't realize how valuable you really are, right? But if you keep eliminating the pressure, then all you'll ever be is a rock of coal. That's all you'll ever be. And 19 years later, you'll be sitting on that same couch, trying to find a way out, waiting for somebody to come rescue you, or waiting for some external event to come around and say, here it is. But let me tell you something. That threshold doesn't go from here way to the other side instantly. It moves gradually. But it only moves when we continue to allow the pressure to be applied on the threshold so that we can have a difference, so we can see a difference. And just because you can't see the results doesn't mean the change isn't happening. Don't quit. Don't give up. You keep going. And when you keep going, eventually you'll look up and you'll realize how far you've come, all because you said that in spite of the pressure, in spite of the hardship, in spite of the opposition, in spite of everything that seems to be going against me, I am going to continue to move forward. Now, if that's you, then you're the one who I'm looking for to work with. I'm looking to work with people who aren't afraid to work under pressure. I'm looking forward to working with someone who understands that there is a better life out there, but the life isn't going to come without a challenge. Life isn't going to come without, that life isn't going to come without some form of perceived value being given up. And I want to work with you. There's greatness inside of you. Yeah, you. There's greatness inside of you. So here's what you do. There's a link down below, and I want you to click that link. Or maybe there's a phone number. Send me a text message, call me, leave me a message, or if there's an email down there, then send me an email. Say, hey, Joe, I really felt this message, and I want to work with you. I know that I have something better for me. I know there's something better for me, and I'm willing to work under the pressure. If you're willing to work under the pressure, we're willing to work with you. It's not that hard, and it doesn't take that long as you're consistent. All right? So go ahead and do whatever it says underneath this video, whatever it says. Click the link, put in your information, whatever it says, do that, and I'll see you on the inside. God bless.